Let's take a look at some quick hits of useful tips in SharePoint and Microsoft 365. Okay, here we are in our Mapleworks Carabiner site, the same one we're using for our course on Udemy. And for all of our examples now, let's talk about Mapleworks. So there's a SharePoint-based suggestion box list here in Mapleworks. And as per another video, I recommend that you do have a suggestion box on your intranet. The tip here is the list rules. It's a relatively new feature. You want to make sure you know about it. So notice under the integrate menu here, there is one of the options here is rules. Now I'm going to point out that if you go a little deeper, there's the alert me and manage my alerts. This is what we used to use all the time to say, let me know when something's changed in this list. These alerts are going away, so don't use those anymore. Use rules. Rules is very similar, not quite as powerful as alerts, or it's differently powerful. So I've got one rule here already. I'm just going to show you creating a new rule. And you've got these four options. When an item in the list is modified, a new item is created in the list, something is deleted, and a date approaches. So let's take a look at the item is modified one, for example. So here you have a bunch of pull downs. It's like good old wizard. So if or always, if you just say always, it simplifies it. But if you say if, you have the ability to choose a column. So these are all the columns in my list. And maybe I want to set up a suggestion type changes, and the new value is, and it allows me to choose from the different fields in the list. So maybe it's an accounting based suggestion. In that case, send an email or set a value. We'll send an email. And let's say that Meta is handling the accounting. I can put a custom message in here and create that rule. So by the same token, I can manage rules here, looking at an existing rule and turning them off and on. Great little feature. And of course, you have a link here to learn more about rules. The next tip is looking at custom list forms. So if I go into site contents here again, I'm going to show our timesheet list. Here's the timesheet entry list. And here I can create a form. So let's say this is a timesheet entry. If I add a new item, I'm going to get all the default data entry fields. But I can customize this form a little bit using the new list forms feature. So if I click on forms, I can create a new form. I've done this already, but I'm going to create a new one for you here to show you how it works. So I can add a logo. Add your form title. And then here we get to decide which fields we show or not. So I like to do it over here on the right-hand side. Let's say I don't need the internal comments. I do want the date that worked and when it was done. Those are mandatory fields, so leave those in. Project or job, hours, details. Let's leave the status out. That'll default to new. And let's leave it as that. Now, you can reorganize these things. So let's say the project or job comes first. I'm just dragging and dropping. And we can add new fields here as well. Notice it's saving changes as we go, and then you can preview it here to see how it looks. What I have found with these Microsoft list forms is that this tool is a little bit flaky sometimes. So don't be surprised if it fails on you sometimes, but look at this. We have a pull down. That's a lookup field. This is a person field. Again, using Meta as an example. And did you notice real quickly you could put groups in there as well? So let's say marketing. So that's a feature that we could turn off. But that's the basic idea of the form. And then what you do is from there, you've got timesheet entry form. I can click this little link field and copy a link, and then I can put that link anywhere in a loop component or on the site or on the help page, whatever I need to share that form. The next thing I'm going to show is a little Copilot trick. So let me go into Copilot. And this is a very small trick that saves a surprising amount of time. And what I'm going to show you is just the slash character. It's right there on your keyboard. You don't need to hit shift or anything, but it allows you to look for content in your environment. So please summarize this file. And I hit slash, and now I can go and choose a file that's, they're coming up recently. Let's use this one. Very useful. Now we've got the Microsoft 365 Copilot license installed. So the difference is the slash, when you have the license, it will bring up lists and folders as well. But without, so you notice all these different things you can choose up here. Without the premium, you can just choose files. So that's fine. Emails are attached here and everything. All right, the next thing I want to show you is in the knowledge base, and this is the pin to top feature, which I quite like. So let's say there's an information technology, this vacation and leave calendar is a very important policy in our knowledge base. So I can select it and I can choose pin to top. And what happens now is that when anyone is in this library, that's at the very top and it's accessible. It's kind of like a shortcut. Okay, and you can have a few things up there. You don't want to get carried away here, of course. Let's put Teams etiquette up there as well. One item. So those are pinned to top and available. And this, because this is a view-based feature, it shows up in Teams as well. So if I'm looking at this knowledge base in a Teams tab, these would be pinned there as well. Now, if I want to unpin it, there's a little, it's hard to see sometimes down at the bottom right. It's a dot, 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 and I can go in and I can edit pin and unpin. You can move it around or you can unpin it. Unpin, and it goes away. So anywhere you can make it just a little bit faster for your team to get access to the important documents, I love it. Sometimes it's a few small features that can save hours over the life of a project or in the day of a large organization. Okay, tip number 5 is one that you will have seen before, but it merits revisiting because there's some interesting features about this, and that's sharing. So if I was to select this vacation and leave calendar and click share, it comes up with this standard share dialog, and you'll see this whether you're right-clicking in your OneDrive or here in a document library that's standardized now across all the different experiences in Microsoft 365, which I like. So notice in this share dialog, first of all, you have an ability to add a name, a group name, or an email. And over here, not 100% intuitive, is this little eyeball, and that means it's a view setting. So I can choose whether this share is going to be an edit capability. Review means they can suggest changes but not edit the file. They can view, and then the most restrictive is can view but can't download. So that's an interesting feature. Now, this first box is kind of irrelevant in some cases because if I go down to this gear and go to the link settings, if I select only people with existing access, it really doesn't matter what I type in the email field, or even people in light lever systems. Even then, I don't need to type anything in there. People I choose, I do have to type something in there. And then down at the bottom, you can change that setting there as well. You can edit. And you can also enter expiration date. Okay, so you make those link settings and you apply them. And now you could type an email address here and just send that link, this edit capability, or you can copy a link here. So either one are valid. Type a name, message, and send, or just copy the link. And notice when I copy, well, first of all, when I hover, it says people you specify can edit. So I'll copy that link. And because I said people I specify, it actually needs that email. So let's change that. I'm going to say only people with existing access, apply. And now copy the link. And it reminds me that that link copied, people with existing access can use the link. And now I can paste that link in an email or in a Teams chat or PowerPoint, whatever I need. And the nature of these links, you're probably aware, the nature of the link is independent of where the file's stored. So if I actually move that file somewhere else, the link would still work. Pretty cool feature. And last but not least is the quick edit grid view. Here we are back at the timesheet again, and this edit in grid view is a really powerful feature. You'll see this in libraries as well as lists. This happens to be a list. And edit in grid view basically turns what you're seeing, this view, into an Excel spreadsheet. So now I'm in grid view mode, if you would, and I can add a new item at the bottom. So that's the read-only column, so I'm not going to add anything there. I can put something in here, test. I can tab, pressing the tab key, and these are fully functional fields. So let's say that was yesterday's work, and work done by was me. I can choose that. So again, fully functional. This is a pull down, a lookup actually. So I can click on that and say I was working for Ferrari. And notice this one shows up red because it's mandatory. So let's say I worked 3 hours. And the details also mandatory. So product testing. Okay. And now what happens when I exit that, I click somewhere else in a different row, that row goes ahead and saves. So that's pretty useful. Rather than going add new item, fill it in, hit the save button, you can do it this quick edit. Now, as the name implies, it's quick edit. So in fact, let's say that this work was done on December 4th, and so were these other ones. So I could click and enter December 4th for all of these, or I can click this one and notice it has a little grab handle at the bottom right, just like Excel. If I grab that little handle and drag to fill, I can change all of these to December 4th, or maybe all of these are Ferrari. I can also say, oh yeah, this one, I thought it was Tesla, Control C, copy, and paste here. So really, it feels like that work. Let's try this one, Control C, Control V. Yeah, so copy and paste. So many times I've used this quick edit that it feels like an old friend, and it's called grid view now. It used to be called quick edit. So once you're done, exit grid view, and that just makes sure everything is saved. So there's a few quick tips for you. I hope you find them useful. Look forward to your comments and questions, and I'll see you next time.